pretty, isn't it? This is the new Alpine A110, a lightweight, driver-focused sports car. It's the first new Alpine for more than 2 decades, a mid-engined, rear-wheel drive two-seater, just like its closest rival, the Porsche 718 Cayman.
Alpine is a very famous old French sports car company that's been dormant for a very long time. It's part of Renault, and at long last, it's back. This new A110, like all Alpines, is compact, it's very lightweight, and it prioritises driver enjoyment over things like outright performance and lap times.
This is the entry-level Pure model. It starts at £47,000. At the car's core, you'll find a bespoke aluminium body. Obsessive weight-saving measures throughout the car keep weight down to just 1,100 kilograms. That's remarkably light for a modern sports car that you could happily use every day.
If you make your sports car light, you improve it in every way imaginable. It doesn't need an enormously powerful engine to have strong performance. It doesn't slurp fuel like it's going out of fashion. You can make it handle beautifully. This car reverses the pernicious trend for modern sports cars getting heavier and heavier.
Suspension is by double wishbones all round. That sounds like a minor technical detail, but it's actually as fundamental to the way this car drives as its lightweight construction. We'll see why when we drive the car. In short, it means the car works its tyres really well, so they don't need to be very wide and sticky.
The engine is right here in the middle of the car. Now I can't show you it because you have to undo lots of screws and lift up lots of trim, but I promise you it's in there. It's a 1.8 litre 4-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine. It's got about 250 horsepower. That's plenty in a car this light. Alpine says the car will do 0 to 62 in 4.5 seconds and top out at 155 miles per hour. Now the gearbox is a 7-speed dual clutch paddle shift. There's no manual option.
Being mid-engined, the A110 is perfectly balanced for a sports car, and it has 2 boots. Although they're hardly vast, the front compartment will take a pair of carry-on cases side by side, and the rear one a decent-sized holdall.
Now, within the cabin you can spot the weight-saving measures everywhere. These seats, for instance, they're made by Sabelt and they weigh only 13 kilograms apiece. That's about half the weight of a conventional car seat. This optional Focal stereo down here, it's been engineered to be lightweight. And to give you some idea of how obsessive the engineers were when it came to keeping this car as light as possible, they considered fixing the passenger seat in position because that would have saved half a kilogram. In the end, they decided against it.
The material quality in here is fine, but no more than that. If you're stepping out of a Porsche Cayman, you're going to think it's very plasticky in here. It's also pretty confined. This is not a big, airy cabin. The infotainment system is not especially good, but it is at least fit for purpose. There is no Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. You connect your phone using something called My Spin. Again, it's fit for purpose.
Here's the thing. Alpine spent the money on this car on its bespoke aluminium chassis. They didn't spend the money on soft touch materials in here and on fancy infotainment system. That's because this car is all about the driving experience. Nonetheless, it's still got a stereo, it's still got satellite navigation, mobile phone connectivity, climate control, it's still got driver aids like traction control and stability control. This is still a perfectly usable day-to-day car. Lots of very lightweight sports cars are far more punishing than this one. It's also got 3 driving modes. You use the button down here. You've got the normal mode, then you go into sport and you hold it a bit longer to get into track mode. Now the suspension, that's all fixed rate. So as you cycle through the modes, you're not making any changes to the suspension. It's all exhaust sound, steering weight, throttle response and so on. This car isn't in any way demanding to drive. I've got really good visibility, light steering, a smooth automatic gearbox. It isn't at all noisy in here. And the ride quality, that's a revelation. Often, sports cars like this one have a very firm, crashy ride. This one really doesn't.
That's the benefit of making a car very light and giving it that double wishbone suspension. You don't need to sit it on very firm springs and wide tyres to make it grip and handle like a sports car.
Let's stick it into sport mode. Now, in terms of handling, this car is one of the standout machines of the last decade or so. It really is fantastic. It feels beautifully balanced. It's got good grip without being so grippy that it feels numb. Really good, accurate steering. And I love that the car rolls noticeably in corners and that it heaves up and down over the shape of the road. It makes the car feel alive.
I have more fun driving the A110 than I do lots of modern supercars. Honestly, it's that good.
Now the engine is not a showstopper, but it does its job. You've got really good torquey power delivery and a level of performance that you can actually access on the road. You don't feel like you're not getting anywhere near its performance potential. The gearbox, meanwhile, that's very good. It's just a really effective, really responsive paddle shift gearbox. Do I miss a manual transmission? I don't, but I understand why some people might.
Make no mistake, this is a brilliant sports car, but more than that, it's also a very important sports car.
Because for too long, sports cars have been getting bigger and heavier and ever more powerful. This car demonstrates that its compact size, lightweight construction, the right amount of performance, agile handling, those things are what make a sports car great to drive. It's not all about sheer straight line performance. Thank you very much for watching. Please let us know what you think of the Alpine A110 in the comments. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so. And remember that cargurus.co.uk is where you will find the used car you're looking for from a top-rated dealer.